I'm not sure how this one slipped through the cracks, but the bad touch is here. That's right, Deathtouch is back. Nobody's playing it. It's completely underestimated, but I have no idea why, because it's absolutely bonkers in the current meta. Let's dive in and check it out. Alright, Deathtouch. Now, obviously at the core of the deck, we're running 4 copies of Hooded Blightfang. Now, Hooded Blightfang is a 1/4 Deathtouch creature for 3 mana, and as long as it's in play, whenever we attack with a Deathtouch creature, we'll actually drain them for 1 life. And this is amazing when we get multiple Deathtouch creatures in play, but it's even more amazing if we have multiple copies of Hooded Blightfangs in play, because every one will trigger for each attacking Deathtouch creature. It gets really out of hand. How do we get multiple copies in play? Well, that's Fiend Artisan. We run 4 copies of Fiend Artisan, and Fiend Artisan will let us sacrifice any of our little 1-drop Deathtouch guys to search our library for another Blightfang and put it into play. Absolutely crazy. Fiend Artisan is also really great against the current meta because of mill being so abundant. And when they're milling a ton of creatures into our graveyard for us, and then we're sliding a Fiend Artisan in really low on the curve underneath their counters or through their removal, we get a really big creature for only 2 mana. And that gets crazy. We can also use Fiend Artisan to find not only the Blightfang, but our 2 copies of Lurrus. We can search for a Lurrus, put it into play, and then if Fiend Artisan dies, we can use Lurrus to bring it back. So a lot of times they get put in a situation where they have to kill the Lurrus or the Fiend Artisan, but really they need to get rid of both. They kill the Lurrus because they know it can bring back the Fiend Artisan, but then Fiend Artisan can just find the second Lurrus. So they're kind of screwed if they don't, screwed if they do, and it gets really crazy. We've also got 4 copies of Mire Triton, 4 copies of Foulmire Knight, and 4 copies of Typhoid Rats as our Deathtouch creatures. These come out really low on the curve. They trigger the Hooded Blightfang like really easily, and they're easy to bring back with Lurrus or to fetch with Fiend Artisan. They're just really great cards, and the Mire Triton has extra value where it mills us when it comes into play, which means it's going to make Fiend Artisan even bigger. And it also gains us a little bit of extra life, which there are some things in this deck that use life as a resource. So getting the little extra added value of life gain over time with the Mire Triton is actually really beneficial, and it adds up. The Foulmire Knight in particular as well is something where if we draw it late game, we can play the adventure side of it to draw an extra card. And it doesn't seem like much, but when you're in top deck mode and you just need that extra card to really make a difference, we can play this to draw a card and still play it as the Deathtouch creature, and that's really important. We're also running 3 copies of Demonic Embrace. Demonic Embrace is just absolutely amazing evasive damage. We put it on anything we want. We can put it on the Lurrus to swing for 6 lifelink, or we can put it on Fiend Artisan to swing for a ton in the air. And if they kill the creature that it's on, we just bring it back by discarding a card. This is another card that's really great against the current mill environment because they mill it into our graveyard for us, and then we can discard anything we want to replay it from the graveyard. It adds up, and it's just crazy. We've also got Call of the Death Dweller. We're running 4 copies of this, and this again makes it amazing when our opponent mills stuff into our graveyard for us. A lot of times they'll put a 1-drop and a 2-drop into our graveyard for us, and we can Call of the Death Dweller them back without having to worry about milling them away ourselves. It's crazy. A lot of times a Fiend Artisan will be one of the cards that they mill into our graveyard, and then we just bring it back with Call of the Death Dweller, and all of a sudden we have like a 10/10 that we can then put a Demonic Embrace on, and it gets so out of hand. It's just really crazy. We're also running 4 copies of Archfiend's Vessel, and this is not a Deathtouch creature, but it's absolutely amazing on curve, and we have so much recursion and ways to bring back creatures from the graveyard in this deck that it would be just crazy to overlook this card. It comes back as a 5/5 flyer for almost no mana investment, and it just gets nuts. We're running 4 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst as our removal suite. This can take out anything in the early game, almost like a shock, where if it costs 2 or less, we're only spending 1 mana to get rid of it. But late game, if they have a really big threat that costs a lot of mana, we can kick it, pay the 4 total, and get rid of any creature or any planeswalker. We can even bring down an Ugin with this, so it's absolutely essential as the go-to 4-of copy of removal in this deck. We're also running 1 Shadowspear. This is sort of like a fourth copy of Demonic Embrace, because we only really want to draw into one copy of Demonic Embrace because we can keep bringing it back. So 3 is sort of the balance point there. It's kind of like the sweet point where we usually get 1 in the game and that's all we need. But having another, almost basically like a fourth copy of Demonic Embrace in the form of Shadowspear, except we can also play the Shadowspear and the Demonic Embrace on the same creature, can be really important. We can use this to get around Indestructible so that our Deathtouch dudes can get in there and actually kill the creatures we need them to kill. But it's also a way to give added evasion to things like Fiend Artisan, where when this thing gets big, but if they have a bunch of chump blockers, we need the trample to get through. And again, the lifelink really helps us with the ways that we're spending life. And how are we spending life? We have a random one-of copy of Feed the Swarm. This is a silver bullet. Really, it's just an extra removal spell. But with one of them being Feed the Swarm, we have a way to get rid of pesky enchantments when they pop up. You know, Elspeth Conquers Deaths and that sort of thing. And the life loss is sort of augmented with Mire Triton. We can gain life there. Shadowspear, we can gain life there. The life link from Archfiend's Vessel, we can gain life there. So the life loss actually doesn't hurt us that much. And even just the one copy, I think, goes a long way, where sometimes it's sort of like a fifth copy of Bloodchief's Thirst, but it's got this added value in that it can hit an enchantment, which is something Black could never do before. So it's really, really crucial. We're also running in the mana base 4 copies of Castle Locthwain. Since the deck is mono black, and this is kind of the reason we're keeping it mono black, is so that we can hit Castle Locthwain consistently, and when we run out of gas early, we're drawing 2 cards a turn, because we're basically drawing an extra card with Castle Locthwain, and having the 4 copies makes it really consistent, and sticking to mono black makes it so that we can do that without having to worry about Castle Locthwain coming into play tapped because we're running a bunch of dual lands. We're also running a lot of modal lands. This deck in particular flies really low to the ground and gets a ton of value because you can drop a 1-drop Deathtouch creature and use it to deal with one of their 4 or 5 or 6 casting cost threats and be really ahead on tempo that way. So having to have lands come into play tapped isn't really hurting you as much in this deck as it does in other decks. So we can afford to run 8 different modal lands here. We're running 3 copies of Agadeem's Awakening, which is another way, if we draw it late game, we get back all of our Deathtouch creatures, and it's so much value, it's really hard for the opponent to deal with it. We've got 2 copies of Hagra Mauling, and this is another way, again, if we get it early, it's our land, so we stay on curve, but if we get it late, it's another way to remove a potential threat and get in there for the win. We're also running 3 copies of Malakir Mire. Now, Malakir Mire can double as Malakir Rebirth, so obviously if we get it early in the game, it comes down as the land, but Rebirth lets us do some really, really silly things. If they try to kill the Archfiend's Vessel, or even just block it, we can play the Rebirth in response and immediately have it come back into play as the 5/5 flyer, which is crazy. But we can also use the Rebirth to save our Lurrus, or save our Fiend Artisan, or save our Hooded Blightfang, and being able to save those key creatures in a deck like this can be really, really important, and only having to hold up 1 mana to do so can be pretty crazy. So ultimately, we're running a ton of value. Like, we have very few cards in the late game that we draw into that are dead because of having so many modal lands. And it stays really low to the ground while being really explosive because of Hooded Blightfang and all of the recursive elements. It absolutely eats mid-range alive because of all the Deathtouch, and again, because of cards like Fiend Artisan and Demonic Embrace and Lurrus and Call of the Death Dweller. It absolutely destroys mill, which both of those archetypes are huge in the environment right now. So I think this deck is positioned very strongly, and it's going to be interesting to see if anyone starts running something similar to this moving forward at the top of the Mythic ladder. And we're almost there ourselves. We took this thing to, I want to say, 28-8, and like 5 of those losses were mostly because of mana screw and stuff like that. Just really bad luck. The deck is performing really phenomenally right now for us, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But for now, let's check out the games. Yeah, 2 Castle Locthwains. That is not what we want to see. I don't think it's bad enough to throw back though. Turn 2 Shadowspear, turn 3 Fiend Artisan. We're on the play, so you know what? You know what? I don't want to get rid of that crab. I want it to power up our Fiend Artisan. Like, whoa. And there it goes. Now we've got a 4/4 Fiend Artisan. Das ist scary. Okey-dokey. Now we've got a 5/5 Fiend Artisan. Is he gonna do it again? Probably, right? That's okay. We'll just get it back with Lurrus if he does. Nope. Plays another Rune Crab. Come on, make me bigger. Make me big again. Let's see if he's got any removal first. Okay, no removal, so we'll play this guy. See what he does. Kills the Fiend Artisan. We probably play Lurrus. Though we can play the Blightfang. I think I like that better here. Play the Blightfang, swing in, drain, go for 3. Just stay aggressively ahead on tempo. If he has to keep dealing with our creatures one at a time, we eventually just get there, right? Black. He's like, oh no, Demonic Embrace. I have to wait until he tries to play the Demonic Embrace to kill the thing. That's what he's thinking. Nope. Does he have another one? Hope he has another one. We can't Demonic Embrace yet. Because we can't afford to waste our turn without getting another threat on the field. Sure. You still get drained. So I think you played that wrong. 26? I think we've got to thirst one of these. I wanted to play the rats, but what I should have done probably is not attached the Shadowspear. Just played Rat Thirst. Counter spell, good sir. Typhoid Rat. Next turn we Demonic Embrace. We eat probably his last counterspell, and then we play Lurrus, and we bring Fiend Artisan back, and then we Demonic Embrace again. Now we have a castle. I don't think he does have a counterspell. Lurrus Vessel. Next turn, if Lurrus is still around, we can do Fiend Artisan. I have no problem trading that. Probably just going to bring it back with Lurrus. But that's okay. We have ample threats on board. 17 cards in our deck should be enough. Does he have a land? Cacophony. Oh boy. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? What do I even have in hand? I can't even tell. Call the Death Dweller. Demonic Embrace. Kind of need a land. That's the problem. Kind of need a land. It's gonna be really close. I can brace. Call. Bring back another vessel. So he mills me 4, right? If he drew a land, he can kill me. If he didn't, he can play Lurrus. Ha! We got him. Time to put this deck back to work. And do what it's meant to do. Do it correctly. Just draw me into a 3rd land drop, please. Please, for the love of God. Alright, turn 1. Typhoid Rats. Nice. We're off to a good start. We're getting him to waste his removal on our 1-drops. He gets a Demonic Embrace. That's not so good for us. We're going to play 2 1-drops here. Because if he shocks one of them, he can kill the other one. He can't play the Demonic Embrace without attacking. He can't attack without dying to one of these. Come on. Come on. There's a good boy. Now our Fiend Artisans are huge. They're 4/4s for 2 mana, which is freaking insane. We're not in a rush to get them out though. So we'll make smart decisions involving using the majority of our mana here. Or all of our mana, rather. Get the Blightfang on the board. And Axe. And Axe. Well, that's not good. Yeah, we can't take it out with Thirst. Not yet. Do we want a 4/4 or do we want a Mire Triton? Now our Fiend Artisans are 6/6s. We are going to swing with this guy, because he's not dumb enough to block. And we get to drain him for 1. And life gain against red is really good, so... he's going to have a really, really rude awakening next turn. How does mono red deal with a 7/7 for 2 mana? I don't think they do, right? Like, do they just scoop? End turn. This deck is fire. This deck is so good. Against so much of what's popular in the meta right now. Like, he's stuck. He can't do anything. Sure, we'll play another 7/7. We're actually gonna play this out as a land. Now that we know he doesn't have the removal. Because we want to be able to kick the Bloodchief's Thirst next turn and get rid of the Anax. We're gonna hold on to the Blightfang for now. Because he'll probably block it with the Giant and trade and get 2 on 1s. Get rid of Anax. Give him 2 on 1s. Take away his ability to make more. We're gonna swing in with one of our 7/7s. See if we can get him to chump. Nope, he's going to 9. End turn. Wow. Just wow. Just swing with 1/7/7 again. Now that puts us in a position to just drain him by swinging with the Blightfangs, and he just loses. Oh, he must have an Ember Cleave, right? 6, 7, 8. 8/8 Ember Cleave. 16. 17. Which means as long as we kill everything else, we're fine. Unless he also has a stomp. I think we'll do this just to make sure. If he also has a stomp, we would be in rough shape. Need to make sure we survive. Ooh. We go to 1. Oh my god. Oh, thank God I lined up those blocks. Alright. We will keep this. Tricky. Very tricky. We'll get out the rat. Like, I don't want to trade with the 1/1. But if I don't get out the rat now, what do? I put out a tap land and I get out a Mire Triton next turn. I'm in the same situation where I have a thing I don't want to trade with the 1/1. And that seems kind of bad. We're gonna do this. No attacks. We're just gonna get our threats out onto the field for now. Alright, we're gonna play Hagra Mauling as a land. I think we feed the swarm. Kinda want to wait for that big green artifact. Can't remember the name of it right now. Its name is eluding me. We're just gonna pass the turn. Let him swing into my Death Touchers if he wants. Oh, you're right. It's enchantments, not artifacts. You are correct, my friend. Does he want to swing? Nope, he did not want to swing. And that is okay with me. We'll do it this turn. We'll hold up the Rebirth. And we'll just pass. Next turn we'll play out the Blightfang. We're going to use it now while we can. We need to keep our threat density high, so use the mana now. We do have Call of the Death Dweller, which is pretty good. I'm actually going to use it. Get back to Death Touchers. And those counters are not irrelevant, because now they can't be Heartless acted. Not that it matters, because I'm playing mono green, I'm pretty sure. But in general, the counters can still be relevant. No blocks. We'll take one. It's fine. We'll drain him. See if he wants to trade one of his dudes. I doubt it. He does. That feels really good. I like that. Light, that's pretty good. They do both die, which is good for us. We will call it on back. Swing, swing. He'll probably trade with his 1/1. That's fine. Questing Beast. Our good friend Questing Beast. We're gonna have to play an answer to that. Which means... Beastman. And we'll thirst this while we can. These both have Menace. So we'll just drain. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to block with the Fiend Artisan if he swings with the Beast. I'm just trying to make him second guess his attack with the Beast, possibly. We'll see if he does. Not anymore. Not too shabby. What do we have in here? Foulmire Knight. I think that's it. Mire Triton. Fill up our graveyard some more. Swing. Swing. Can't block them without losing his Questing Beast. End turn. I think we can just get there. We've got one creature for him to snag. He's got 4. So that's a total of 5 life he could gain, theoretically. Styles his own snake. Is he actually going to swing in with it? No. He's just trying to gain life, I think. My turn. Some triggers. See what he does here. He's going to at least 5. Nice. Nope. He's going to take it. Is he going to double block? Do it. No, he's going to block there. Feels pretty good. Enter. I could have grabbed another 1/1, but then his ooze gets really big. We don't like that. We don't want his ooze to get really big. I mean, it's already really big. We could have theoretically sacked our Mire Triton and gotten a 1/1 Death Toucher to hold up to block the ooze. We have an Archfiend's Vessel in the grave. Trigger, and I think we just win because he can't block everything. Alright, good game. This isn't amazing, but I guess we can keep it. Because you could sort of dig a little bit into that concept. Just by splashing into blue for those. And you could still mainly be, you know, a Deathtouch-y deck. But then also have the ability to sort of get some slight ridiculous out of it. Slight ridiculousness out of it. I think we're just going to go for 2 1-drops here. We probably want to kill the Ruin Crab, right? Because that's just going to be too much. Yeah. We'll do that. And that. Like, I think a splash of blue, just for Glasspool Mimics, would be interesting. What does our graveyard look like? Looks pretty good. I'm gonna swing first. In case he has a Jawari Disruption, we'll play that first. Plays it. Use Gold Enforcer. Okay. Play a Typhoid Rat. We'll pass the turn. Now he can't swing in with his Enforcer. We'll just trade our Rat. We can Call of the Death Dweller back all sorts of gas now. I think we try it. Let's see. Thanks to Dust. It's a pretty good response. Pretty good. In for 3. I think we gotta play this. We need the land. We need it. Nice, we hit an Embrace. DOS makes me happy. Alright, let's see if he's got another counter. I don't think he does. Get rid of the Mire Triton. Swing all. He's kind of running out of gas. Play this dude so we can't swing with the Enforcer. We are looking pretty good. Oh, I've got Nectar of the Gods. Nectar. Sweet nectar. That's all that matters. What else does he have? Does he want to cling to dust? He may want to cling to dust. Good Lord. Yep. We've got him in a really, really rough position now. He's trying to race us with Mill, but I just don't think it's going to happen. He's running out of gas. Now he can't play Lurrus, because he needed to Bloodchief's Thirst. We are okay with that. He's going to take Lurrus. That's not bad. I don't think it'll be enough, but it's not bad. Dump you. Swing, swing. Leave back one Foulmire Knight, just so he doesn't swing in with Lurrus. He's a Wind Robber. What else does he have? Alright, so he can block my flyer. He is filling up my graveyard, gives me another Demonic Embrace. But he can get rid of it at instant speed. Pretty close. It's pretty close. Swinging. He's got a block with the Wind Robber here, which is fine. He'll lose Lurrus, but he'll probably play his own Lurrus. Play ours. My god, what do we bring back? Let's go Fiend Artisan. Does he have the counter? Or does he just try to eat it? He lets it through. We are close. Another Ruin Crab, but he doesn't have a land. He's hoping to draw into one, I guess. Oh my god. Look at this ridiculousness. See, now if he clings to dust it... Oh, he can't. Well, now you are shit out of luck, my friend. Got him. We got him. You and me, baby. We ain't nothing but mammals. So, anyway, give the video a like, maybe leave a comment and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We appreciate it. And until next time, may all of your touches be, well, bad.